Just making sure you guys can hear me. So if you're in the chat in the next few minutes, let me know if you can hear me. And then I'll show you where I'm at. I started this and then decided, you know what, I'm gonna just get on live and see if anybody wants to see what I'm doing. Just making a song. But using some was listening to some D'Angelo, kind of felt a little inspired and started messing with some neo soul kind of jazzy vibes. Just set this iPad up. If you come in, if you can smash the like, that'd be nice. Um, let's see here. So I started this time, which is something I usually don't do, with building drums first. And it was because I was listening to this D'Angelo song and it got kind of inspiring. So this time, instead of using the pocket drums already kind of sequences here, I decided to just play my own little rhythm. So what I did was, here I'll show you kind of, right? So I just start building my drums, and what I would do is, I didn't know the BPM, which it doesn't matter. Just play the rhythm you like, and then it will detect the BPM. And then 83 BPM was the number that I stuck with. And what I did was I drum for maybe like 1 bar, 2 bars at the most. Then I would come back and just adjust what I didn't like. So I basically made a 4 bar sequence of drums right here. And then I duplicated that. So this is what that sounds like without the keys. And there's parts that's off, which is fine. That's the loose fill in it, right? Okay. So I added in this little one right here at the beginning of just the first 4 bars. This is 8 bars, by the way. I mean, 16 bars rather. I said 8 bars. It actually is 16 bars. I'm tripping. There, now you can see it a little bit better. So anyway, I did 8 bars of drumming is what I did. Then I duplicated that, made 16. You can do this on anything that you have your drums that you like. If you're on iOS, use Clevgrand's One Pocket. It's probably the only one that has more natural sounding drums that I can think of, unless you have your own drum samples. So I built that, and then which I did not add. I'm gonna do that right now. The color limiter. I love this thing. Turn the saturation up. That's all I use it for, is get that saturation in there. Now inside of Drum Pocket, there is a saturation. So you could just use that technically, but I'm in love with the color limiter in Ableton, so I'm using it. I took away my drum bus because I feel like with Pocket Drum, I don't really need it. If I just throw this color limiter on there, it's less stuff and it's kind of nice. Now when I use the Lord, I can't think of what it's called, addictive drums, then I use my drum bus for sure. For some reason, the drums in there need a little bit more, in my opinion, and you're either gonna shape them in there or you just leave them. Okay, so let's move on. So the next thing was, I struggled at first figuring out what I was gonna use, but in D'Angelo vibes, I might as well use the some Rhodes. So I used the Rhodes Mark One, and this is Rhodes Anthology. This is a preset called Lyric MK1 Suitcase, and I usually change. They have the pan way out here, which is fine, but I like to bring it down a little bit, at least the depth of it a little bit, and then yeah, just adjust accordingly. Everything else is the same. I changed the mic from a cardio to a dynamic mic, which I like a little bit better. And sometimes, or you don't have to, I'm gonna just put the color limiter on it to turn the saturation up a little bit. And then, oh, and then scalar for the chords. Showed this yesterday. We're gonna do chords. Make sure you turn on humanize for both the timing and the velocity, and then play your rhythms. And a lot of people think that you need to play every chord here in exact order they're in. That's not true, and that's how you end up with the same stagnant type stuff. So here, let me turn that one on. Okay. So in my opinion, the better way to do this is after you get a set of bunch of chords you want, just mess around to find what you like. I found these two chords that I like, and then I started adding in little bits and pieces to that vibe. So it was like stuff like that, little turnarounds that bring it in the pocket. But the two chords are basically it. Which is pretty much that A minor 7, which is a 5 minor, right? And then it's G. Oh, let me slide this down so you can see it. As soon as my finger decided to work here. That's a B flat, major 9. So two chords. I was looking at studying some like old funk music from like Parliament and stuff like that, and they use like two chords in a song. It'll be the whole dang song is two chords, but the way the drums and the bass line and the groove is set in, it don't really matter because you're basically brought in immediately from the way that sounds. So if you pick the right two chords, you can just use two chords. And again, the only thing I'm doing is using these other chords as turnaround chords. So you'll see I'm playing the same two chords, and these little back ends right here are just turnaround chords. So here's what it sounds like together. Now I played all the way through 16 bars. I highly suggest doing that, especially when you're using, here we'll lock this to the scale so you can see it and then bring it down a little bit. There you go. Let me see you go. Okay. So especially when you're going to do a lot of repetition in something, the best way to do it is play it all the way through. And if you look here, you can look at these way these MIDI notes here are. They're all different. I mean, as far as where they sit velocity wise, and so there's nothing that's hitting exactly the same, even though some of these chords are the same exact chords. That's going to give you the variation in the sound so that it doesn't sound so bland. So now we put in just a simple muted jazz bass. I have a bass fattener and then the punch parallel. So with the bass, we're creating the groove, so we just need to sit in the pocket. Now, what are we going to play? Well, typically you stay within the scale. So we're going to do a keyboard monitor so you can see. We'll just drop it in, lock it to the scale, and we're going to move back so you can see what's being played. This shows 2 octaves. If you want more of the keyboard size is here, you could do it to 4 octaves or 5 octaves. So, no, I haven't planned this, so I got to just figure out what I want to do. Now, I do know the main chords are A and B flat, so that makes it a little bit easier because I only have to remember those two notes. Everything else is going to be fill-ins, right? But one quick way, if you don't want to do this even, is to just grab the low notes on each chord. So in this particular case, you would start here, grab these notes, grab these three, and then bring that over to and a quicker way to do that would just be copy this down and then just erase everything you don't want, right? Then you could basically make a simple bass line that follows the chords. That works. However, sometimes it can get pretty stale. So you might want to try to play it. That's where, you improve your skills. But it maybe starting out, you want to just grab these notes. So I'm going to try to play it, which I shouldn't have a problem, but I make tons of mistakes. I personally like making mistakes in the music so that it sounds more natural, but that's just me. I know a lot of people would never want that, choose it. So let's mess around and see. This is A, and then B flat, which is A sharp. All right, so let's get out of here. We're just using that for a reference. So A, so you can see it, and then there's B flat. So if you notice in this scale, everything from the C to the A is in the scale. None of the black keys until you get to the flat. So that's easy because then you kind of know what you can play. Any of these notes that are in green will work, right? In this. So you could throw like a little off note in there or something. That one's not in there, but it tonally could work, right? So just play what your ears feel sounds good. You can always adjust it later. So let's just play around and see what we come up with. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. I messed up a bunch, to be honest. But if I hit the MIDI capture, I capture everything that I played. So there it is. I could go in and keep some of it, erase some of it, whatever I want to do. What's up, Panda? Good to see you. So some of those notes are a little like, The cool thing about, or like in here, is that I can see both notes, right? Where they fall. If a note doesn't really match what I want, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So for instance, you see right here where this comes down. This note is okay, but this note isn't. So they really should swap. This should go here and maybe leave this one here, stretch it out, and then bring this one back a little bit. But this note right here probably should go here. Notice I did not try to match them to the note here. I'm letting it live where rhythmically I played it so that it doesn't, so that it has its own life and it's not like cookie cutter perfectly on stuff, because that's when it starts to sound really stale. see, this one I don't really care for too much. Um, but I put it in there, I guess, just because I don't know. Maybe I just felt like it would need to be. So what I would do here is probably adjust that note, something like that. And then maybe here, instead of having this note ring out so long, or it could, let's see how that sounds. So you don't have to play every note just because it's a note there, right? You could bypass playing something there, just hold the B flat, or you could put a note there, but then we end up hitting A right here. So what you could do, one idea is that you could throw a note in like here if you want to. Maybe put it kind of low. So boom, boom, you hear it go boom, boom, like that kind of vibe. So you could throw little accent notes and drop the volume down just to get that feel. Um, over here, like this note really does not even fit that. So we're going to do it here. And I like that this note exists. There's a break. There's like a chord that plays here, but it's the same chord. So you don't have to put a note there necessarily. And then this one, put it there. This note could get away, and then just go here with this one. This one's hanging over that other note. You can see it piggyback off of. So now you get something like, let's go back here if we can. So that little break in there with the bass not playing something, it's kind of nice because you hear the keys come in, shoop, and then just gives you something for your ear to listen to. Now this is an octave. So here's the B flat 1, B flat 2, right? That's an octave. You could leave it as an octave, or you could just drop it down and then come back to the octave up here, or just bring it down to that, right? So it's a little different. It follows the, or if you go back up to where was the octave, because that note exists in the chord, it will work, if that makes sense. It is a part of the scale, so it should work fine. So let's see. So it sounds fine. You don't have to play the exact first note every time. As long as it's in the octave, in the scale, it's going to work for the most part. It's just tonally, does it sound good to you, right? Okay, so right here, I don't care for that A, and I'd rather just hear the B go right there. And then instead of playing this F, I actually want to play the D. This note should probably be here. If I'm going to use this note, I'm going to go up to the G and then come back to the A. Perhaps maybe the E, but probably not. So let's see what that sounds like. See, that sounds pretty good. The last note is where I ended and I was definitely off. I'm going to pull it forward and we'll just lengthen it. And then we can finish up here on the 15. Now I could draw these notes in pretty quick, but just to follow that, you could, oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's lengthen this out. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll grab that again, and now you can see the notes. So as long as you have that on, right, you can see highlighted both of them. If you just want to focus on one, you click there. All right, let's do this real quick. Oops, I messed up again. Where were we? Why are we focused on that one? Yeah. So if you touch whichever one you want up here, it'll shift the focus. So we're going to focus on this one. There. There. Same principle here. Now we're going to adjust the volumes here so that there's some variation. The volume variation is going to make a huge difference in the way you vibe with it or not. So, because usually you're playing it at a certain velocity, so you're feeling it. Let's do this out, and we'll let the bass go out a little longer. But this one I'm going to bring down low. Okay, so then we have, let's see how it sounds. That's nice, because you could do a turnaround bass there if you want, or just have it kind of vibe out like this and let the drums do a turnaround. I mean, it's just choices, right? So this is pretty good. 16 bars. There it is. We're locking in. Now, if you're going to duplicate this, I highly suggest you using something like deviation, where you change the velocities a little, have it vary the velocity. Pull this one down, just so that it doesn't get so stagnant and doing the same old thing. I'm going to pull that one down a little more. And then that's pretty easy to do. So just select all the notes like so, throw a little deviation on it. I'm going to put it at about 18, -18, just because that means it's going to play below the where it's hitting sometimes, just fine. So I have roar on here, but you could use, again, you could go back and just put, I'm only putting roar on here to make it saturated really. So you could stick to the same plugin and just add saturation, which I like it just fine like that too. Trillion sounds really good without it, so but I just put it in there to give it a little more character and vibe. So that's kind of funk, jazz, D'Angelo / whatever else you want to call it vibe. Not really D'Angelo, but just kind of piggybacking off of that kind of loose groove feel. So that's my little take on it, right? So now you might figure out, let me turn the volume down here. Now you might want to figure out what kind of lead you want to do. I mean, it's obvious that you could put horns over this, you could put guitar. There's so many ways to attack it, right? Depending on what your vibe is and what you're feeling. I'm gonna use that White Falcon. Different presets. I like the bossa. Is it the bossa nova I like, or the blue bossa? I think it's the blue bossa. Cool. And then I'm gonna throw a little saturation on that one too. Why not? So color limiter, throw it on. Saturation up. Just so you know what I'm playing, we'll grab the keyboard, lock in the scale, and just play it. I'm going to show you 49 on this one. mod wheel to get the vibration. But I can use my... See, the thing is, like, the MPE should be working here. Enable MPE mode, it does, so we'll do that, and then of course not everybody has the Osmos with the keys like that, so just use your mod wheel, right? Pitch bends or mod wheel for the vibration. Wiggle it. And just play whatever comes to your mind. It's all about feeling, right? When you're doing like jazz, hip hop. I mean, not hip hop. Well, hip hop too, technically, but jazz, funk, R&B. It's a lot of feel in there. So if you don't feel it, you ain't gonna make it right. It's just gonna be like stagnant. So make sure you feel it. So that's why I don't force it. If it's not there, just come back to it later when you feel it. And don't be afraid to break the scale a little bit if you need to. But in this particular one, it sounds better if I stay in scale. If you don't like that instrument, then go for something else. Perhaps I don't know if I would be using violins in this, but maybe you could play some piano over it or some other Rhodes, play a lead melody with the Rhodes, or grab some type of horn. The trumpet could probably work. Definitely a tenor saxophone sounds good. Use Swam. I still find it hard to play with the Cosmos with this because it's like all or nothing. It's like really hard to get in between on those. So I don't know how to fix that. I guess you turn the sensitivity down, maybe. Let's see. Just the channel pressure 0 to maximum. Let me see if I turn the maximum. There we go. That might be it. So in the Osmos, there's the pressure. It's set right now to 0 to 127, which is... But the problem is when you turn it down too low, then you never get... It still doesn't work right because it's set. Let's turn the minimum up. Nope. Yeah, so unfortunately, until they make a setting for it in the Swam, it's kind of difficult for me to get that right feel for it, to play the notes right. But whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, so let's use the guitar. Maybe not this one. I actually enjoyed the default setting on this one a little bit better. Let's go back to... And you can bypass the effects, use that preset too. It's pretty good. And I've shown this before. You can go in and change if you don't want reverb to be so much. Let's change it. That's a little bit better. All right, cool. And then just fill it out. like that take, and keep doing it till you get it right, right? This one's a little more simple. Cool thing is in Ableton, if you have your um, key lock right set on there, if you play a note that's sort of out of key, you can go right here and click fit to scale, select all the notes or whatever note you want, and then hit fit to scale and it'll drop it right into the key. So technically, you don't have to know how to play exactly everything. Just play what you want to play and then adjust the notes accordingly. So that's pretty sweet deal for anybody else that has like maybe a Novation launch key, Mark IV, that is. You can lock the key bed pretty good. I don't know about the 3 because I can't remember it. But the 4, you can lock the scale and just play. All you can lock it to all white keys and play if you're, don't know your scales. For me, this little visual aid helps me to remember it. And most scales, I kind of know the basis of it, but then this just gives me a little reinforcement having this keyboard monitor thing right here in front of me while I'm playing. So if I play that note, I know that's out of scale. And this scale is pretty easy, D minor. I think most of the major and minor scales are pretty easy. It's when you get into like those other abstract keys that are kind of more challenging. Let me leave this up so I remember that I did put that there. So that's kind of it for this song. It is a 16 bar. I mean, I can make it more. I can do some other stuff to it, like create an intro, do all that. That would be the next step. But I wanted to kind of show the process a little bit more. So from here, I would pick maybe like, I don't know, depending on how long you want the intro to be, you could do, move the looper over. You could do like a simple intro where it's just some drums, like a drum fill. Let me see, hold on. I don't know. Let's see if we can create something. We'll turn the metronome on for this one. I'm just doing something rando, but that was just really ridiculously regular, but whatever. You could get real intricate if you want. You could get rid of this if you want, or put this over here if you think it might sound better. Let's get rid of this one, and we'll move it over. There you go. Or sometimes I like to do something simple like a stick, like where it just goes, it just count like a drummer counting in or something like that. You could even adjust this even more where it could be like this one, maybe bring it over. I feel like there should be one more. No, that sounds terrible. could be something simple like that. That's not the greatest intro, but you could do a slide in on the bass. You could do, doesn't take much. In fact, I would move that back, throw that there, and just keep it simple, I guess. Maybe even take that first part off because I don't know if it. Or it could be, let's see. No. Maybe that should be there. Maybe put a kick right here. Right here. Now it gets too much. You can tell I'm not a drummer here trying to figure this out. The other option would be pocket drums or any MIDI drummer sometimes has, like in this case, I'm looking for a drum fill, right? Something that could be a lead in, this one or this one. Let's go 8. And then we're just going to drag this MIDI over here. And we'll just take the part that we want. So in this case, I want about half of this. I don't want this part at all. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can get these maybe back a little bit so that they're not running into the next part. And then we can get rid of this. All right, now we can get rid of this raggedy drum fill I did. And bring this over. And I'm so sick of these stupid time signatures. I mean, I get having them has some valid. What is this? No, we don't want all that. In fact, we're going to get rid of this. This. Let's just see what that sounds like. I like it. All right, cool. So there's a fill right there. That's the beauty of pocket drums if you haven't grabbed it. And I finally got my update. So I'm super ecstatic about that. I haven't really brought my own samples in yet, but just been able to grab the MIDI. They have MIDI split, so if you want each one of these individually, you can do that too. Split the MIDI now. All right, cool. Hey, what's up, hero? Oh, you like the guitar? Yeah, it does. That White Falcon is something else. I would love to have one of those in real life if I had the money for it. But yeah, the White Falcon sounds pretty good. It's nice. I use it mostly for leads, but you can use it for rhythm if you want to. All of the ample sound stuff sounds really good. And then there we go. So this first part open, and then we'll have this be the part with that before it loops around. There we go. Yeah, I can't wait for them to fix this, because I do love horns in the songs, especially like when it's a mellow. Of course, I could use a Strat. I could use a. I love hearing the nylon too. But I use the nylon quite often, so I want to use the White Falcon today. So in the manner of B.B. King, you don't need a lot of notes, but you got to work the notes you got, right? So it's more about the feeling. So that's pretty much it. I don't think you need a ton of stuff going on here. Just, just make it what you have work. And you can see I'm only using 4 tracks total for the whole song. So it's not a lot. I mean, other than the scalar track, which is just for the chord purposes, and the main track, which is your output, you don't need a lot. I'm going to turn the main output back up. And as I've stated before, then I'm going to turn on the APX. This is when I'm doing my final mix. I put the APX on just for dynamic purposes. Make sure you have everything set in place. Now, I'm going to turn it off for now because I wanted to, let's see, turn that off. Turn the Ultra X off. So one thing on these drums that could be better, in my opinion, is the reverb, which I think this is, yeah, these are global effects. So I'm going to turn this reverb off. There is a tube to add some tube like feel to it. I'm going to turn that up and see what it sounds like when I do that. Vinyl crackle, I don't want that. There's some bit crush going on in here for this particular pack. So I'm going to leave it the way he has it. I'm just going to turn this reverb off. And then what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to add my own reverb. So I'm going to use Valhalla because I just think it sounds so good. Not that his reverb in there doesn't sound good, but Valhalla's Vintage Verb or even Valhalla's Room Reverb sound really nice with stuff. So let's go into there. So you could just, my normal go-to is ambiences right here, drum air. But I have some other presets down here. And let's see what the Menta Foundry has in it. See if there's anything that stands out. Nah, because this stuff is gonna. Well, there's a vintage plate. Let's see what that may do to it. It's a bit much, I think. Hold on. It's a bit much. So ambiences, we'll just stick with that one. Drum air. You don't need a lot, 10% or less. That's my go-to right there. It just gives it a little life. Now let's see what this sounds like. This without it. This is with it. Now let's turn it off and turn on the drum air in the pocket. His drum bus is really good. Like, it's solid. But I kind of want to hear what. I feel like it's just a little bit better with that drum air, with the Valhalla. Let's just rock with that. Let me start it. Let's start it at the beginning. I want to hear that feel coming in. I'm going to make a duplicate copy of this one in case I want to use this for like some leads. We're going to turn scalar off on this one just so I can play. I think the guitar just sounds fine. We'll leave that. I really like that feel. I might actually use it instead of having this come. Let's see if we can do it down here. We're going to add that same feel to the end of this as like a, oops, I didn't mean to move that. Hold Option and you grab it and it duplicates it for you. And then instead of having this, the one I created as the ending, we're just going to slip this jammy right up in it. Let's see what it sounds like. I meant to put this here. All right, now let's go back to the ending. Okay, that's cool. I like that. So we're going to have just this one here, and we'll join that together. That way we can look at it and see what's going on. All right, so just this one is going to be different. little things like that, just adding a feel to this one. Everyone doesn't need to have the same feel either. It'll get pretty boring and stale. So for instance, this one is different from, well, is this one the same? Let me check it out. One of these, I thought I had the crash at the beginning. Yeah, so see this one, I have a crash at the beginning. This one's your regular without the crash at the beginning. Again, the regular one with the crash at the beginning. And then the final one, we added in the turnaround. And we can make a couple turnarounds. Couple, I call them turnarounds, but a couple drum fills that are different, and then it gives you some variation in the drums. Or you could just have it where just the drums drop out completely. So for instance, let's do something with this one, just something different. Let's see if we go. All right, I got an idea. So we're going to take this kick, move it up, and then we're going to slice it. So it's sitting right there. I'm going to lengthen it to there, and we're going to slice it up. Oops. Didn't mean it, just this one. Oh my gosh, why is it trying to stop that? There we go. All right, so I just touched it, Command E, and it'll slice it. I really don't want this many slices, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna mess around with it, but we can drop a couple of these. What in the world did I just do there? Something like that. Bring this one down. Okay, so let's see what that sounds like. Is there a drum hit here? Get rid of this one. Take this one out. Get rid of that one so that we don't have. Get rid of that. And we're gonna move that back here. Maybe too many slices going on here. So I'm gonna take some of these out. Try just like something like that. Nope. Get rid of this one. Now some of these slices are too low, so I'm gonna have to. Let me listen to it. That's okay. I was not sure. Maybe this one is too loud. And this one should be a little louder. Bring this one down, maybe. It's trial and error here. That's not bad. Like a little, what is that called? A flam in drums, I think they call that. Anyway. All right, cool. So just something different to vary the ending so that it doesn't, so you get some different feel. See what that sounds like going into. Okay, I think I got one person in chat. So whoever it is, what color does this sound like to you? If you had to pick a color, describe the color that this vibe feels to you. That's the. I'll just play it, and then if you just put the color in the chat. Okay, so to me it sounds blue, but it's because it's moody, kind of a mood blue, like a like it's relaxed, but it's like I don't know. Like you ever looked up at the sky and just saw a dark blue sky, kind of like that. But it's beautiful at the same time. So it's somewhere in between the blue gold, I want to say. So yeah, so I'm working on an album with colors, and so far I've done green, orange, and purple, and this one just feels blue to me for some reason. So I'm gonna call it golden blue skies, something like that. I was just gonna go with blue, but because usually most of the colors on the album are just a single color, so I think I'll do that. We'll do collect save. You better always do collect save, by the way. So we'll call it blue because that's the color, right? And then over here, I'm just gonna put golden blue skies once I learn how to spell. How's that? Golden blue skies. I always put the key of the song, which is D minor. Oops, D minor. And then I like to put the BPM just in case it ever gets mixed up. Then I can always say I know what the BPM. So blue is the color, golden blue skies is kind of the vibe, and then D minor, and then the BPM. So that way you make sure you save it in your wherever you save your songs. I do not save my songs on the actual computer. I use a SSD drive. That way, if the computer ever goes down, I lost all my albums worth of music using a computer as the sole way to save. And this was years ago. I mean, of course, since then, my music has improved. I've done so many more songs. But yeah, my wedding song that I wrote was on there, gone. So I highly suggest you use a SSD drive and have multiple areas if you can, like a cloud storage or something where you can save your other songs, especially if it's songs like that you plan on keeping for any reason. Um, cool. So that is it. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I got things to do, aka work, and I will see you guys on the next song. All right, I'm out.